ahead and begin on the back again, just lying on the back and breathing into the belly. So I hope you're not too freezing wherever you are, since I'm starting off lying down. It snowed up here today. It's really cold up here. It snowed and then it rained on the snow. All right, so lie down, put your hands on your belly, but no pressure with your hands at first. Just breathe into your belly and try to poof up your belly up to the ceiling. Just broaden the belly as much as possible. And then as you exhale, just notice your navel dropping down towards the floor. And then inhale and poof up your belly towards the ceiling. Let your fingertips rise up. And then exhale and just let your navel sink down towards the floor. And just take that breath a few more times. And just try to keep your shoulder blades moving a little bit towards your feet so that you don't get the effect into your shoulder tops. And you really want to try to keep the breath out of your neck. So some of us are neck breathers who just really try to tighten up the neck on every in-breath. See if you can keep the sides of your neck really soft. Yes, you know I'm talking about you because you just put your hands on your neck. So go ahead and relax the sides of the neck and really poof up the belly towards the ceiling. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and inhale into your belly again, but this time actually firm your hands against the in-breath. So you're trying to breathe up. You're trying to poof the belly up, but your hands are actually resisting that. And you can feel the musculature in the abdomen tighten in both directions. And then let it go and let the navel drop down towards the floor. The hands are winning now. They're pressing down. And then inhale and puff up towards the hands. And the hands are still resisting, but now the breath is winning and the breath is puffing out against that abdominal wall. And then exhale and drop the navel down, and the hands are going to win. The hands are going to press all the way down towards the floor. And just take that breath a few more times. You're resisting the entire time with the hands, but they're winning on the exhalation. And on the inhalation, they're still resisting, but they're allowing that belly to puff up towards the ceiling. A couple more of those. Just noticing what that's like. For 3 and 2 and 1. And this time, take your hands away and inhale and puff up, but resist with your belly, just like your hands were resisting. Just resist more with your abdominal muscles, with the wall of your abdomen. And then exhale and drop down. Really use the abdominal wall to force the air out as you bring the navel closer and closer to the spine. And then inhale and puff up and let that belly rise up, but still resist with the abdominal wall as if your hands were still there. And then exhale and let the belly, the abdominal wall win as it contracts the belly and pushes it down towards the floor. And take a few more of those, just noticing what it's like to have that little tug of war happening inside your body. So the muscles of inhalation and the muscles of exhalation are both working the whole time. But on the inhalation muscles are winning a little bit, and on the exhalation, the outer abdominal wall is pressing more down towards the floor and winning. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just let that go and take a big inhalation, fill the belly with breath, and a huge exhalation and let all the air out. And then go ahead and take the knees into the chest and rock front to back until you've rocked your way all the way up to seated. And when you're ready, just come to the top of your mat and step your left foot forward into a lunge and your right foot back. So we're just going to start out by taking the right knee to the ground. The fingertips are on the blocks, and just start tipping your foot. We've been beginning each practice with this tip of the foot. So first, lift up the big toe, the inner arch, the inner ankle bone, the inner knee, and then drop the big toe mound down and firm it into the mat and lift up the 4 outer toes and pick up your outer ankle bone, your outer knee, and just feel that coming all the way up the inseam line as you lift up the big toe all the way up to your pelvic floor, and then dropping, firming the big toe into the mat, lift the 4 outer toes and lift up that outside line all the way up to the outer hip. And just rock back and forth a few times and just notice that inner and outer line of the leg working, picking up, rising up as you lift that side of the foot up. For 3 and 2 and 1. And the next time you've got your big toe up and your inner ankle bone, your inner arch, you notice your knee is out to the left a little bit. Just let your left hip press out to the side a little bit, make a little bit of space in your hip capsule, and then drop your big toe mound back down so that you have your foot balanced, but your left hip has a little bit more space in the hip capsule. And then just go ahead and lean forward, left knee's coming in front of the ankle, and feel what it's like to get some movement into that hip. Lean forward and draw back with that hip in that new place. Just a little bit loosened, a little bit of space in that hip capsule. For 3 and 2 and 1. And now we're going to make a sitting bone circle. If you'd like to tuck your right toes under and lift the back knee, go ahead. If you'd like to keep that knee down, that's fine with me. You're just making a little hip circle and noticing what feels different with that hip capsule a little bit loosened. For 3. If it feels too loose, just pull it back in. Don't be wonky in your hip. But if you can still feel stretch and resistance to it, that's good. Take the other direction. 3 and 2 and 1. Now place your hands down on your blocks. Try to keep that hip in that new position as you step your foot back and come onto your knees. And then you're just going to take your hands down to the ground and inhale, dog tilt, lift your tail, sink your belly, look up with a long back of neck, and then exhale and cat arch. Let the base of the skull drop towards the top of the head. Inhale and dog tilt, and just see if you can notice the difference because you've got that left hip in that new position. And exhale and cat arch. And then keep your navel over the center. Try not to list over into your right hip, but just reach that left leg back and take a little dog tilt there. And then as you cat arch, swing that left foot around to the left. Cat arch the whole spine. Let the base of the skull drape towards the top of the head. Inhale, dog tilt, take the leg back behind you. And try not to sit out into your right hip as you exhale and cat arch. Left foot comes out to the side. Inhale and dog tilt, and this time we're going to lift the leg and let the foot come up above the knee. And exhale and cat arch. Try not to sit out into your right hip as you take that leg out there. Inhale and dog tilt. And exhale and cat arch. Last one of those, inhale and dog tilt. And exhale and cat arch. And keep the cat arch between the shoulder blades like you're a dolphin raising its fin up above the water. And then just start to lift and lower your tail. So take a little pelvic tilt. Your pelvis is rolling up and down, but you're trying to keep that cat arch between the shoulder blades. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now take your hands back up on the blocks and bring that left foot through. Lift up the big toe mound one more time and just find your hip placement. Set your big toe mound back down. And then again, press forward, knee in front of ankle, and just feel what it's like to get weight in that foot, with that little bit of hip space. 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and walk your hands around to the right side. And we're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana. reach your tail back, reach your rib cage forward, make a lot of space in your waist. Your side waist is lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. And then just go ahead and come up onto your fingertips, pull your blocks towards yourself just to get your lats on, and then go ahead and come all the way up to standing. Take your hands to your hips, and then just let that left hip come jutting out to the side a little bit. Just feel what it's like to let your pelvis glide over the femur head so that the left hip is a little bit out to the side, and then we're going to come back and we're going to jut the right hip out. And close your eyes and notice the motion of the pelvis as it glides over the femur heads, and just try to really tune into the centermost point when your hip is neither jutting out to the left or to the right. And then as you pass by it, notice what it felt like to be there in the center, and just gaining some proprioceptive awareness of the balance point of the pelvis before it shifts over to the other side. Next time you're at the centermost place, at the place where you feel the tail is most dropping down towards the floor and the pelvis is most balanced on those femur heads and most centered, then go ahead and pause there, lift and spread your toes wide, and then wax off your feet. So drop your feet into the mat and make an external rotation with both of them. Between your thighs, so you've got a lot of leg work on. Then take a big inhalation into the belly and make that resistant action that we were doing on the floor, like your abdominal wall is resisting your inhale, and then exhale and drive the breath out by taking that abdominal wall towards the spine. Inhale, poof up the belly, resist with the abdominal wall. Exhale, drop the navel towards the spine and let the shoulder blades come a little closer to the back rim of the pelvis. Don't go too far. We're not too warm. We're just noticing how that back bend works. They're very strong in the core work, really strong in the glutes and the hamstrings. And then go ahead and forward fold. Go slow, come down slow, and then walk your hands back around to the front of the mat and just cat arch there for a moment. Lift and spread your left toes, fan your left foot side to side for 3 and 2 and 1. And then the right knee is coming down. Just pick up your left foot and set it down in Ardha Hanumanan. Notice how your sternum is. If you're finding a little bit of cat arch here, then back up a little bit. Or if you can extend your spine more, keeping your low back flat, lift your tail a little bit and just feel the length in the back line of your left leg and fan that foot side to side. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then walk those blocks over towards the right. Walk your left block further than your right block. Pin your hips over towards the left edge of your mat. Press your right knee into the ground and turn your left belly to the right. And then creep your left fingers forward more, but don't allow your left shoulder top to rise. Instead, pull your fingers all the way from the bottommost rib. And then breathe into your left side ribs, spreading those rib tips on the inhalation and then exhaling out the belly. Inhale, side ribs. Exhaling belly. Inhale, side ribs. Exhaling belly. Take your breath a little higher so they're just the ribs up on the outside of the breast tissue are spreading, and exhale out the belly. Inhale, upper ribs. Exhaling belly. Inhaling and exhaling. Take all the weight in your right hand and unfurl your left hand up to the sky. Go as long as you can on the left side of the neck and the left shoulder top as you drape your right ear down towards the right shoulder. And really go for the uppermost neck, cervical spine spreading apart right behind the ear, right underneath and behind the ear. Just lengthen there as much as possible. And then go ahead and step your left shoulder blade back, take your left hand a little further back, and then dive that left hand into your right side waist. Lift the shoulder top towards the ear and then forward and down. So we're making a shoulder circle in the clockwise direction, left shoulder, for 3 and 2 and 1, and then release that and take that block underneath the right hand, flip the palm and cinch those fingertips towards the back of the mat. Reach your left shoulder blade towards the front of the mat, but also away from the left side of your spine. Turn the belly. 3, 2, and 1, and then release. Come back around to the front. Take your left sole of the foot down, and then just get your left edge of sacrum drawing back and equilibrating. See if you can find a nice even sense of pelvis. Then lift your big toe mound just a little bit. Take your left knee out to the side. Give a little bit of space in your left hip capsule, and then drop your left big toe back down. And then as we swing forward, we're just going to try to keep that pelvis level, but that little extra space in the left hip capsule should demand more work from your right glute, from your right hamstring than you usually feel. Then bury your left hand into your left thigh, take your right palm forward, lift it up. Don't raise your right shoulder top, but pick up your lowest right rib as much as you can. And then just pat yourself on the back between the shoulder blades. Try to keep your low ribs dropping, but lengthen back of neck and look up. You're pressing back with the base of the skull into the upper elbow for 3. Spread the upper front intercostals, and 2. And 1. And then just let the hand come right behind the base of the skull, and then drop your elbow towards the outside of your left knee. Let your right shoulder blade follow the directionality of that right elbow coming outside the left thigh. And just drop it down outside of there. Twist the belly from right to left for 3 and 2 and 1, and then come on out of there. And then just turn towards the right side of your mat. You're going to take the right knee slightly outside of the right hip. Left foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. And then I'm going to take a block behind my head, press the base of the skull back. So I don't want to lift the chin as I do that. I'm just going to press straight back. Take an easy inhale here. As you exhale, go ahead and drop your left elbow towards your left knee. Draw your right elbow back a little bit and breathe into the low right ribs for 3 and 2 and 1, and inhale your way up, and exhale your right elbow down and breathe into your left ribs. And just notice the difference between the two sides because we did the warm up on the left. Draw the left elbow back, 3 and 2 and 1, and inhaling your way up and exhaling down. Take your breath into your upper right ribs. Draw your right elbow back a little for 3 and 2 and 1, and inhale your way up and exhale your way down, and breathe into the upper left ribs. Draw your left elbow back for 3 and 2 and 1, and inhale your way up. Let that left elbow drop down and turn your nose towards your left knee. Your right elbow is reaching for the floor, and your right shoulder blades following that action, wrapping around the side of the body. Breathe into the bottom tip of your right shoulder blade for 3 and 2 and 1. On your inhalation, open your wing up, look up at that right elbow. Drop your right shoulder blade down towards the back rim of the pelvis so you have a little arch going in your back, and take your breath up underneath that right collarbone for 3 and 2 and 1. And then release out of there. Turn back towards the front foot, tuck the right toes under. Exhale, cat arching, and this time block your left foot and try to get the entire base of the ball of the foot up and over the edge of the block. Take an easy inhalation and lift up the right heel. Arch the foot at the top, roll through the right big toe mound, and then exhale, drop down into the center of that heel strike. Inhale, lift and arch, and exhale, drop down into the center of the heel. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Just notice if your foot is capsizing out to the side or toward the middle, and try to stay in the middle of the heel strike as you touch down. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, drop down, and then stay there or take a little step forward or a big step forward, depending on how the back line of your leg is feeling. Lift and spread your left toes a little bit, draw your sternum forward, lifting tail slightly on the inhalation, and on the exhalation, dropping the outer left heel down into the mat as the hips shift over towards the left. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, center, and exhale, drop the inner left heel into the mat and take the pelvis over towards the right. 3, and 2, and 1. And then just going side to side. Little dynamic stretch for the calf for 3, and 2, and 1. And then all the weight into the right foot. Turn the block. Put your left heel on it so that your toes are parallel, and walk the other block over towards the right. Let your left hand reach further than your right hand. Straighten your left leg any amount and press your hips over towards the left. Breathe into all the side ribs, upper and lower on the left side. Inhalation. Spread those rib tips. Exhale out the belly. Inhale. Exhale out the belly. Inhale. And exhale. And then rebend that left knee. Bring the block back, set your fingertips on it, and step the right foot back so your left forearm is buried into your left thigh. Thigh. And then go ahead and swing forward into a little bit of a dog tilt. See if you can lift up, spread the upper front intercostals without shearing forward your low ribs. And then drop your shoulder blades towards the back rim of the pelvis and pick up the back of the right knee so that the top rim of the pelvis reaches toward the shoulder tops. 3, 2, and 1. And try to keep that shoulder blade contraction to pelvis, QL working while you drop your lowest front rib towards the pubic bone and get the front and the back edge of your thorax co-activating for 3, and 2, and 1. And then swing through and breathe into the kidney band for 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale and swing forward, dog tilt. Really contract your QL. Breathe up under your collarbones. 3, and 2, and 1. And then co-activate. See if you can get your low front ribs reaching towards the pubic bone at the same time the back is working. 3, and 2, and 1. And then swing through. Breathe into your kidney band. 3, and 2, and 1. And then just take the right knee down. Take the right hand block down a notch and creep your left hand forward. Your left hip is reaching back, and just sink a little bit into that left sitting bone. You'll notice your left big toe mound is already rising up a little bit, so you might make a little space in that left hip capsule. You might take a little sitting bone circle here for 3, and 2, and 1. And then go ahead and firm into your right hand. take your left hand onto your left thigh, and then right hand is going to come directly behind the head again, and just draw your right elbow over towards the left. Let your right shoulder blade follow as you drop that right shoulder onto the outside of your left thigh. And then if you want to, you can take your left hand down, or you can leave it there and just twist for 3 and 2 and 1. And then release, flatten out your right hand block. Take your left hand snuggled into the left arch of the foot. Curl your right toes under and lift the back of the right knee. Sink the left sitting bone. Just notice how that left hip capsule is going. Again, you might make a little space in it. You might make a little sitting bone circle for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just drop your right knee down, step your left knee back, and turn your palms completely over. If this is too much, you can do one hand at a time. Spread your thumb and your pinky apart on the inhalation, and on the exhalation, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale and spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and spread on the inhale. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and spread. And then take your hands towards the outside, fingers pointing towards the outside, and spread your thumb and your pinky apart on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, curl into a lame fist. Inhale and spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and inhale, spread. Exhale, coming in. Inhale, spreading. Exhale, coming in. Inhale, spreading, and then turn your hands one more time so they're facing towards the front edge of your blocks. Inhale and spread, and exhale, curl into a lame fist. Inhale, spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, spread. Inhale. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, spread on the inhale, and exhale, curl in and spread. And then take your palms face down, thumbs out to the side, bend your elbows and just feel the extension of the forearm fascia, and reach those thumbs out to the side as you peel up your palm. Try to leave your fingers flat onto the block, and just notice which hand is tighter, which elbow drops more easily, which thumb comes out to the side more naturally for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just set them back down and take a little bit of a circle so that your forearms are stirring your wrists. 3, 2, and 1. And then shake that out. All right, now we're going to step the right foot forward. Left knee, tip your foot side to side, lift up first your big toe mount and then your other 4 toes. Feel the inner arch, the inner ankle, the inner knee rise up. Feel that inseam rise up all the way to the pelvic floor, and then to go to the outside toes, feel the outer ankle bone, the outer knee, all the way up to the outer hip, and just tune into that line, outside and inside line of leg lifting up towards the top leg. And the next time you're on the outer foot with the big toe rising, inner arch, inner ankle bone, inner knee coming up, notice the knee out to the side, and then choose your hip. So we've got quite a few righties this time. So just see if you can bump your right hip out to the side. If this hip is loose for you, then keep it neutral or pull it in. But if you have a little space and you know you have tightness there, see if you can reach that hip out to the side a little bit, and then drop the big toe mound down. Get your foot more balanced, and then just lean your knee forward in front of the ankle and feel what it's like to have a little bit of weight in that foot when that outer hip is not so gripped in. There's a little bit more space in it, just a little bit, for 3 and 2 and 1. And now we're going to make a sitting bone circle. And if you'd like to leave your knee down, you can, or you can curl your left toes under and go ahead and pick up your left knee off the mat, wherever you'd like to be with that. and then go the other direction for 3 and 2 and 1. Left knee comes down. You're going to try to keep that hip a little bit bumped out to the side, but just take that leg straight back behind you, and the hands come to the mat. Inhale and dog tilt, lift up that leg, and exhale and cat arch and bring it around to the side. Try not to sit out into your left hip as you take that action of bringing your right leg out to the right. Inhale and dog tilt, and exhale and cat arch. Inhale and dog tilt, and this time we're going to bend the knee and lift the foot up above the knee, really contract that QL on the back line, and then exhale, cat arch, lift your dolphin fin up. Inhale, dog tilt. Exhale, cat arch. Inhale, dog tilt. Exhale, cat arch. And this time, go ahead and hold the cat arch in your upper spine between the shoulder blades, but then take a little pelvic tilt in your lower spine and see if you can lift and lower your tail while you're keeping the cat arch in the upper back for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go ahead and draw that leg back through to the front. Tip up that big toe mound for a moment. Get the right hip placement. Put your foot back down. Nestle your big toe mound into the ground, and then just draw front to back and notice that shift of weight into the foot and how it feels in the hip. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're just going to walk our blocks over towards the left side of the mat, but I'm going to turn completely around so that you can see me. And this time we're going to have our outer feet parallel or even a little bit pigeon-toed. And we're going to go ahead and reach the tail back and the sternum forward. Try to make your waist as long as you can get it. And this time go ahead and sit down like you're taking a seat in a chair. Reach your left knee out into an imaginary block like you're pressing out, and then reach your right knee out and just see if you can find as much extension between your sitting bones, going wider and wider as you can for 3 and 2 and 1. And then inhale and push your right heel away from you. Very muscular action. Really reach that left knee out to the side. And then we're going to go the other direction. Push your left heel away from you and straighten out that left leg while you push your right knee out to the side. You're just going side to side. You got a lot of room between your sitting bones now. Did some hip loosening work on both sides for 3 and 2 and 1. And then take your fingertips onto your blocks and pull them back towards yourself, and then come on up to standing. Take your feet out at a 45-degree angle, hands to hips, and then just take that little tick-tock again. Go slow, bump one hip out and then the other, and really just propriocept and notice where the midline is, where your tail is dropping down, where your pelvis feels most perfectly balanced as it glides across the top of the femur heads into a tilt to the other side. And the next time you come across that middle space where you feel like your pelvis is most equilibrated, just take a pause in the middle there, and then go ahead and bend your knees and sit your tail way back. So here you are in a goddess pose. You're trying to maintain that balance of the pelvis that you found. As you inhale, you're going to draw your forearms and your elbows together and bring your hands up and over the top of the head. Turn the backs of the hands towards each other and then dive them up. And then exhale. The hands are facing out like stop sign hands as you come down. And then inhale the arms up, back behind you, facing the ceiling, and exhale them forward. Draw the elbows together, inhale up,
Backs of hands come together and dive all the way up. And then exhale down. Inhale those palms up, back behind you. And exhale, draw the arms forward. Last one, inhale, come up. Backs of hands diving down and up. Exhale down the side, stop sign hands. Inhale, palms come up towards the back. Exhale, drawing forward. And then we'll go ahead and straighten the legs. Take a little forward fold, breathing for 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and walk your blocks back to the front of the mat. Take the left knee down and just pick up the right foot. Set it down, lift and spread your right toes and fan your foot side to side. If you notice yourself cat arching, you're a little low, but if you have more space, you can keep your lower back flat. You can keep your upper chest opening. Then you can take your sternum forward a little more. You can lift your tail a little higher. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now walk your blocks over towards the left this time. Let your right block reach a little further than your left. Press your hip over towards the right. Push your left knee in the ground and turn your right belly to the left, and then creep that right fingertips forward a little more without lifting up the top of your right shoulder so much as peeling the lowest right rib up away from the right hip crest. Breathe into the right low ribs, spreading rib tips. Exhale out the belly. Inhale, side ribs. A little bit of a forceful exhalation out the belly. Inhale, side ribs. Exhaling belly. Take the breath up a little higher into the upper ribs, just outside the breast tissue. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. From your left block, hand into the left block and let the right hand sky. And then just drape your left ear down towards your left shoulder and see how long you can make the right side of your neck and the right shoulder top. And really try to lengthen, especially right behind the ear at the very top of the neck. See how much space you can get between those vertebrae. And then step your right shoulder blade back. Take your right hand a little further back and dive your right hand into your left side waist. Lift up the right shoulder top. Reach that back and make a circle. So you're making a shoulder circle, shoulder roll in the clockwise direction. We're going the opposite way that we were going on the other side. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just take that hand down, walk it underneath, flip your palm, cinch those fingertips towards the block edge, and then step your right shoulder blade towards the front of the mat and reach it away from the right edge of the spine. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then release, and then just turn towards the left side of your mat so that your left knee is a little bit outside of your left hip. Your right foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Press back into your block. Squeeze your imaginary block between the thighs. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, right knee, right elbow, draw your left elbow back a little bit and breathe into your left side ribs for 3 and 2 and 1. And then inhale your way up and exhale, drop the left elbow down, draw the right elbow back, breathe into your right side ribs for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale your way up and exhale down. Breathe into your upper left ribs, pull your left elbow back, 3 and 2 and 1. And inhale up and exhale down. Upper right ribs, 3 and 2 and 1. And inhale your way up. Exhale your right elbow down. Turn and look at your right knee and really reach your left elbow around and let your left shoulder blade follow that elbow and its directionality, and breathe into the bottom tip of that left shoulder blade. 3, 2, and 1. And on your next inhalation, open that wing, look up at the left elbow, draw your left shoulder blade down towards the left pelvic rim, and breathe up under your left collarbone. 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead and release. Walk your hands around to the front, tuck your left toes under, exhale, cat arching. And this time you're going to block your right foot. Try to get the entire ball of the foot up and over the edge of the block. Inhale, roll through the left big toe mound, lift the heel, lift the arch. Exhale, drop down, try to get the middle of your heel strike. Try not to capsize your foot to the left or to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. And exhale, drop. And then step your left foot forward a little bit or a lot. Reach your sternum forward, lift your tail a little bit on the inhale. And on the exhalation, drop the outer right heel more deeply into the mat. Let your hips shift over towards the right. Feel that lateral line of the calf. For 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, center, and exhale, inner right heel drops into the mat. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then just go side to side. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then take all the weight into the left foot, turn your block. We just forgot to do the Anjane Asana, I see. Okay, anyway, go ahead and come over to the side, reach your right fingers past your left finger, straighten your right knee any amount, and press your hip over towards the right. Breathe into the entire right ribs, edge of your ribs, spreading the rib tips. Exhaling out the belly. And then bend the knee and walk back. And just for a second, step your left knee back and take your foot off of that for a moment, because I forgot to put the Anjane Asana after the Hanuman. So drop the right edge of your sacrum back and down. Pick up your right big toe mound just for a minute and lift up that inner arch, that inner knee, and just see if you can release that hip very slightly to the right, and then snuggle your right big toe mound back down into the mat. And then right hand to right thigh top. I want your left glute and left hammy really working because you've got that new hip position. Swing forward a little bit, take your left palm forward and up. Don't lift your left shoulder top. Drop both shoulder blades down towards the pelvic rim. Lift that back edge of pelvis up. Look up. Spread here. Now pat yourself on the back between the shoulder blades and let the base of the skull drape into that upturned elbow. 3, 2, and 1. And then back up, left hip over left knee. And then just reach that left hand behind the skull. Turn so that that left elbow is reaching over towards the right and the left shoulder blade follows it until it comes down outside of the right thigh. And then just press your hips over towards the left. Let your right knee come forward a little bit. Turn your left belly to the right. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then release out of there. And go ahead and take your foot back on that block. Right forearm on right thigh. Left fingertips onto left block. Turn left toes under and pick yourself up. Inhale, dog tilt. QL contraction, lift the sternum. Try not to lose your low ribs, but lengthen back of neck more. 3, 2, 1. Hold on to that back line. At the same time, pull your low ribs towards the pubic bone. Get the front and the back co-activated. 3, 1, swing through, cat arching, breathe in your kidney band. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, dog tilt. Lift the back of that left knee. 3, 2, 1. Co-activate front and back. 3 of your trunk and 2 and 1. Cat arch. 3 and 2 and 1. Take your left knee down. Let your left block come down a notch and scoot your right fingers forward. Your right sitting bone reaches back. See if you can find a little space in your right hip capsule, and then take a sitting bone circle on your right if you want to, for 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead, come back up onto your fingertips and set your right hand onto that right thigh again. Left hand comes behind the head. Left elbow reaches over towards the right, and that left shoulder blade is going to follow behind it as we tuck it down outside of that thigh. You can straighten out that left arm if you want to. Turn your belly, twisting. 3 and 2 and 1. And then just flatten out your left block, snuggle your right block into your right arch, curl left toes under, lift the back of the left knee, and sink down into that right sitting bone. And just make a little sitting bone circle if you want to, with your chosen amount of space in that right hip, for 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and step your right foot back. Downward facing dog. You can take a child's pose if you need one. Otherwise, just hang out in your dog. Take a couple of loose, generous breaths for 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and walk your feet up to your hands and just take a malasana squat. So you can have your feet a little wider than hip width apart. You can have your toes out, that'll make it easier, or you can have your feet parallel, a little bit more challenging. And then just begin by rounding down into it. Notice what it's like to feel that rounding of the lower back here. And then we're just going to unfurl, starting with the tail. So reach your tail back into a little dog tilt, into a little duck waddle, and then unfurl your navel from your pubic bone, unfurl your sternum from your navel, unfurl your collarbone from your sternum, and just see how upright in your spine you can get. Maybe you have a little bit more room in your posterior hip from all this work we've been doing, and you can come a little bit more upright in the body so you feel the lengthening of the pelvic floor. If you're aware of which side you're tighter on, you might try picking up that side of the pelvic floor a little bit more. On the exhalation, doming up the pelvic floor for 3. By the way, I'm teaching a pelvic floor class beginning in February on the 20th. It's the beginning level. So if you want to review, you've already taken it, or you want to take it for the first time, that's going to happen. Okay, so we're going to drop the right hand down now. You're going to unfurl your left arm, step your left shoulder blade back, take your left hand a little further back, and then dive your left hand outside that right thigh. And then just see if you can curl your right arm around behind it. Maybe your hands meet, maybe they don't, but either way, just turn your belly from right to left. Take a little turn. If your hands are clasping, you can reach them away from the hip for 3 and 2. Nice postures. And 1. And then release. Come back to the center. Take a little breath here with that unfurling of the spine. Sit up tall. And then just let your left palm come down in front of you. Unfurl your right arm. Step your right shoulder blade back. Take your right hand a little further back, and then dive that hand around back behind you, outside of your left thigh if you can get it. And then just curl that left hand around and see if your hands can meet.
If they can't, it's no big deal. Just turn your left belly to the right. If you've got the clasp of the hands, reach the hands away from the hip as you turn for 3 and 2 and 1, and then release and forward fold Uttanasana for 3 and 2 and 1. Now firm your feet into the ground, wax them off, turn them into the ground, and then roll up 1 vertebra at a time. You can really feel your feet working into the ground, your heels pressing into the ground. And then inhale the hands up over the head. Exhaling, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Come down, knees, chest, or chin. And knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. That's what I mean. Inhale, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhaling, another chaturanga if you want one. Downward facing dog for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale the right leg up, bend the knees, stack the hips, pull that right heel towards the butt, and then draw the right knee a little further back for 3 and 2 and 1. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the left foot, take the shoulders forward over the wrist, right knee to the nose, cat arch the back. If this is too hard on your neck and shoulders, feel free to take your left knee down to the ground. Otherwise, pick up your right thigh closer and closer to marry it to the belly and flex your right foot. And then inhale your way back up. Really get into that glute. Clench your glute. Pull your right heel close to your butt. 3, 2, 1. And this time as we swing that knee forward, we're going to set the foot between the hands. Left foot comes to meet. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, wax off the feet. Get really firm into the earth. Press your heels down. Come on up with a flat back this time. Looking up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling another chaturanga if you want it. Downward facing dog. 3, 2, 1. Inhale the left leg lifts. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Clench the glute. Pull the heel towards the butt. Get the hammy on and then open up a little bit more by pulling left knee back. 3, 2, 1. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the right foot. Take the left knee to the nose. Cat arch the back. If this is hard on your neck and shoulders, put your right knee down. Pull the thigh up. Flex the left foot. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, stacking. And then exhale, step that left foot all the way in between the hands. Right foot comes to meet. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the feet into the mat, wax them off. Inhale, come up with a flat back. Look up as the palms touch. Exhaling, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, another chaturanga if you want it, or right to downward facing dog. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lifts the right leg. Bend the knee, stack the hip. On your next inhalation, launch up on the ball of the left foot, and then exhale the right knee to the right elbow. Feel free to drop your left knee down. Don't get pain in your neck for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale your way up, Kapinjalasana Sthiti. Exhale that right foot in between the hands. Left foot comes to meet. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Plug the feet into the mat, wax them off, and then come up with a flat back. Look up. Exhaling, Uttanasana.
Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, another chaturanga if you want it, or downward facing dog. For 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, the left leg lifts, bend the knees, stack the hips. On your next inhalation, launch up on the ball of the right foot, take the shoulders forward over the wrist, and then exhale, left knee, left elbow. Don't hurt yourself, put your right knee down if you need to for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhaling all the way back up to stack the hips, and then exhale that left foot in between the hands. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Wax off the feet into the mat. Inhale your way up. Take your hands on either side of the sacrum. Take a little look up. Long back of the neck. Now go for the glutes, waxing off the feet. Take a little bend in the knees and pull the heels up toward the glutes so you can get the hammies on, and then re-straighten the legs. Breathe into your belly. Feel that resistance of the abdominal wall, and then exhale, pull in that wall and pull the shoulder blades tiny bit, like 1/4 of an inch closer to the back rim of the pelvis. One more breath. Inhale, puff the belly up, resist with the abdominal wall, and exhale, push out. Drop your shoulder blades a little bit for 3 and 2 and 1. Nicely done. Inhale, look up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Take your hands to your blocks. Exhale, step your right foot back. Pick up your left big toe mound a little bit, inner arch, inner ankle, inner knee, and just set your left hip slightly out to the left, and then snuggle your left big toe mound back into the mat, and then reach forward, knee in front of ankle, and just feel what it's like to get a little weight in that foot with that hip in that new place. For 3, if it feels too loose, just pull it in. If you have more stretch to go, you can reach it out to the side a little more. And 2 and 1. And then just pulling left hip in towards center. Pull right hip forward, reach right heel back until right quad is very taut. Tighten up squeeze your right knee and take your fingertips to your blocks. Pull them towards the back mat. Feel the back line come on. And then go ahead and pull your shoulder blades down towards the pelvic rim in the back. Keep that pull going at the same time that you drop your front rib toward the pubic bone. So you've got co-activation on the front and the back of the trunk. And then here we go, standing up. Inhale the hands up. A lot of work going on in the stance. And then we're going to pat the back with the right hand between the shoulder blades, and left hand is coming to right elbow to gently ease it back behind the head a little bit more. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now press the base of the skull back. Take a little look up. You're pressing into the elbow. Try not to lose your low ribs, but use that contraction of QL. Breathe up under the collarbones to get the back bend. For 3. Smiled. And 2. And 1. And then release the hands down to the blocks. Really feel the glute on the descent. It should be working there. Straighten out your left leg. Hop your right foot forward a little bit. You're on railroad tracks instead of the right arch of the foot being right behind the right heel. Reach, inhale, let your sternum draw forward. If you're cat arching, you're too low, come up a little higher. Otherwise, walk your blocks out as far as you can in front of you, extending sideways, pulling left hip back. For 3. And 2 and 1. And then bend your left knee, draw your blocks back, step your right foot back. We're going to come up again. So all that work we're going to do again. Just lift your left big toe mound a little bit. Find your left hip space. Rock front to back in that knee so you find out what it's like to have weight in that side. Pull your right hip forward, your right heel back, your right quad is tight, your right knee is tight, and then your fingertips are reaching for the back mat. And here we go. Coming on up. Let your palms touch at the top, straighten your left knee completely. And then exhale, take your hands behind your shoulder blades and bend your right knee so it hovers an inch above the floor. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then inhale, just straighten the back leg and exhale, let it rebend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Don't go too far. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And then we're going to take the hands all the way down to the blocks and to the floor. Step the left foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling another chaturanga if you want it, or downward facing dog. Breathe here in your down dog or come to a child's pose, your choice. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go ahead and come into your down dog if you're in a child's pose. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Inhale, look halfway up, and exhale, step your left foot back this time. So pick up your right big toe, inner arch, inner ankle. Find the right amount of space you want to work in your hip. And then just bring your right knee forward in front of your ankle and back. And just test out what it's like to have weight on your foot with that hip released a little bit. Or if it's getting too loose, pull it in. Your choice. You can keep it neutral. And then wax off that foot. Pull your left hip forward, reach your left heel back, tighten up your left quad and your left knee, fingertips on the blocks, pull towards the back mat. And then just get your shoulder blades reaching down the back towards the back rim of the pelvis, a little bit of dog tilt. Keep that arch on and then pull your low front ribs towards the pubic bone. Get that co-activation in your trunk. And then here we go. Lift off all the way up. Crescent lunge. And then we're just going to take that left hand, pat ourselves behind the back, right hand, left elbow. It just snuggles that elbow a little bit more behind the head. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now try to take a little look up. Your base of skull is pressing back into that elbow. You're trying to open your upper front intercostals without losing your rib cage. Feel your left glute, feel your right glute. 3, 2, and 1. And then just release. Come slowly out. Feel your right glute on the descent. Hop your left foot forward. Inhale. If you're cat arching, you're too low, come up a little higher. Otherwise, reach your sternum forward, walk your blocks forward. Extend your sideways as much as you can. Press your right hip back. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and rebend your right knee. Walk your blocks back. Take your left foot back a little bit. Lift your right big toe. Find that right hip space and just go front to back with your knee, getting adjusted to having a little weight in that foot. And then here we go. Left hip comes forward, left heel goes back, left quad is tight, left knee is squeezing. Pull on your block, pull, 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 and up we come. And then as we inhale, touch your palms and let your right knee straighten. And then as we exhale, left palm, right scap, right palm, left scap, and drop your left knee and hover it an inch above the floor. 3. I'm waiting for you, Fran. 2. And 1. Inhale, straighten the back leg, and exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Don't go too far if it's uncomfortable. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And then just go ahead and release. Take your hands all the way down to the mat and step your right foot back. Inhale that right leg up, bend the knees, stack the hips. Try to keep your heel very close to your glute, but then just take a big hip circle there. Leg is coming forward and down for 3 and 2 and 1, and then land that right foot, and we're going to take the left foot up, bend the knee, stack the hip. Try to keep the heel really close to the glute as you take a hip circle on that side for 3 and 2 and 1, and then release, and we're going to come all the way down onto the belly. So I know I mentioned that we were going to get to the get back to that bolster. I didn't quite make it this week, but maybe next week. But we are going to do the cobra. So just take your hands right underneath your shoulders at first. Pick up your right foot and reach it back and set it back down. Pick up your left foot and reach it back and set it back down. And then just pretend that you're squeezing an imaginary block between your thighs. Squeeze your glutes. Bend your knees at first to bring the heels close to your glutes so you can feel what it's like to have your hamstrings on. And then as if you were pressing against water, press your feet back down without releasing your hamstrings until they're all the way down on the ground. And then we're going to reach the navel forward and lift the head. Don't come up too high, but reach your shoulder blades back towards the top rim of your pelvis and your pelvis towards the top rim of your shoulder blade. Keep using your glutes. Keep using your hammies. And then inhale, fill the belly, breathe against that abdominal wall, and then exhale the abdominal wall up towards the spine. Pull the shoulder blades a little closer towards the rim of the pelvis. Excuse me. Inhale into the abdominal wall. Resist with the abdominal wall. Exhale, force the air out with the abdominal wall and deepen your back bend a little bit. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, deepen. And just hold there for 3 and 2 and 1. And then roll down. Just take your pelvis side to side. Relax. Take your feet a little wider apart, like mat width apart. Again, squeeze your glutes. Get your hammies online. Squeeze imaginary block, and then draw your navel forward away from the pubic bone. Press into your hands. You can take them a little further back alongside your chest this time. Inhale into belly, into abdominal wall. Exhale, press the air out with the abdominal wall and draw the shoulder blades further down the back. Inhale, belly. Exhale, shoulder blades down. 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 Keep the back of the neck long. Don't let your base of skull sink down between your shoulders. Come on down. Long back of neck, long back of neck. Take the pelvis side to side. Stay there and rest if anything was hurting. Otherwise, if you want to try again, take your feet even a little wider than that. And we're going to take our hands back alongside the rib cage this time. We want to get the glutes on. We want to get the hammies on. We're going to squeeze towards midline with the thighs. Draw your navel forward. And then just start to press up. Inhale into your belly. Exhale all the air out with your abdominal wall. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, belly. Exhale, pull shoulder blades down. Inhale, belly. Exhale, pull shoulder blades down. Inhale, belly. Exhale, pull shoulder blades down. Antonio, come down a little bit so that you don't have to lift your shoulder tops up towards your ears. Yeah, better. 3, 2, and 1. And then release, roll all the way down. Come really slowly into your child's pose. You've been in a deep back bend, so go slowly as you curl up. Go slow, and then just waggle your pelvis side to side. For 3, and 2, and 1. All right, we're going to go ahead and take our legs up the wall. Unless you're dying to take a headstand, then you can. But otherwise, just take your legs up the wall and let the blood pool back down, because we've done so much glute work. It would be good to get a little bit of circulation down into the pelvis. So legs up the wall, unless you're really starving for a shirsha. Really nice. For 3, and 2, and 1. Stay up as long as you want. When you're ready, come down. If you're on your back, just go ahead and roll over onto the right side into the fetal position, and then press up to seated and find your alpha ball. We're definitely going to release those glutes. I hope they got online for that. And we're going to start in the right glute. So just take that ball right into your right glute. You're looking for a little owie spot. If you find one, you can pin it and take your knee in a circle. If you need more sensation, you can lift your left heel or glue your left knee to your right knee and take your knees in a circle together. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then straighten out your right leg. Turn your navel 45 degrees to the right. You can stay there, or you can come up onto your forearm, bury the outside edge of your right foot in the mat, and then bend and straighten your right leg. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then turn your navel 45 degrees more so you're facing the side wall, and just find that bump on the outside edge of your hip and make a circle around it with a ball, like you're drawing a donut around your greater trochanter. That little knob that sticks out on the side of your hip, the outermost part, edge of it. For 3, and 2 and 1. And then step your left foot in front of your right thigh. Turn your navel 45 degrees more so it's facing the floor a little bit. And just roll around. It's like the ball is in your front jeans pocket. Just try to hit the top of that IT band, TFL area. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're going to take that ball right into the right side waist, above the hip and below the lowest rib if you have room for that. Inhale, puff up into the ball, and exhale, sink down onto it. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. And then just keeping as low on the ball as you can. Take a few pelvic tilts. Just let that ball wend its way into the visceral cavity. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now step your left foot down onto the mat. Turn your navel 45 degrees up towards the corner, like where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then just go side to side a little bit on the outer edge of your QL. We did so much QL work. So we're just looking for that little demarcation where they dock into the obliques. 3, 2, and 1. And then you're going to turn onto your belly so that that ball is right inside your right hip crest. So just come onto the belly on the ball. And you may find you need a block underneath there. Inhale, puff up into the ball. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Now walk your feet over towards the left and your elbows over towards the left a little bit, but sink your hip over towards the right. So the ball drops into the edge of your psoas, and then reach the ball towards your navel a little bit, towards your left shoulder, and take a little rocking motion unless you can't move. It's kind of vascular, so it's got these like pins and jabbing sensations sometimes in the psoas. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then let that go and just roll over onto your back and just notice what you changed in that little bit of rolling on the right hand side of the body. Notice how it's lying on the mat and if it's more integrated from the bottom of the foot to the shoulder top than the left side, and maybe less sore. And then let's go onto the left side. So we're going to take that ball into the left glute, roll around. You're looking for a little owie bit, as Fran would say. And when you find when you can pin it and lift your left knee in the air and make a little circle. If you need more sensation, you can pick up your right heel or even join your right knee to your left knee and make one circle with both knees. Now you can notice from this little glute roll which side was more resistant to making space, might be a little more sore right now during this rolling. Some of you have switched allegiances. You started out saying one hip was tighter and now you're saying the other hip is tighter. That can happen. 3, 2, and 1. And then just go ahead and straighten out your left leg. Turn your navel 45 degrees to the left and stay down there, or come up on your forearm, bury the outer edge of your left foot into the mat and bend and straighten your left knee. And just get the exterior fibers of glute med right on the ball. Three, two, and one. And then turn the navel to the side so you're right in the face of your glute med, and just go ahead and roll around there. Your navel's facing a wall. Three, two, and one. And now step your right foot in front of your left thigh. Turn your navel one more time, about 45 degrees. So it's like somebody was trying to stuff that alpha ball into your left front jeans pocket. Just roll around there, looking for a little owie spot right at the top of the IT band, TFL. Three, two, and one. And then just roll that right into your side waist, above the hip crest, below the lowest rib. Inhale, puff up into the ball. Exhale down onto. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. And then just try to stay as low as you can on the ball and take a few pelvic tilts there. See if you can let that ball navigate its way a little deeper into the visceral cavity. For three, and two, and one. Now step your right foot onto the ground and turn your navel 45 degrees back towards the ceiling. So it's kind of facing the corner where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then just feel the edge of the QL as you go side to side a little bit. The ball's going to run into that edge of the QL where it docks into the obliques. For three, and two, and one. Now we're going to roll over onto the belly and just take that ball right inside the left hip crest, or you might need a block for a little more sensation. And then inhale and exhale, sink down. Inhale, exhale, sinking. Inhale, and exhale, sink down. And then just walk your feet over towards the right. Walk your elbows over towards the right, but bump your left hip over towards the left a little bit so that the ball rolls in towards the midline and finds the edge of the psoas. And then you want to reach it towards your right shoulder a little bit. So add a little bit of a diagonal nudge. And then you can roll the ball or you can hold still, depending on how intense that is for you. For three, and two, and one. And then when you're all ready, just release, come onto your back, find your Shava pose.
Take an easy inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhalation out the mouth. Inhaling nose, sighing out the mouth. Inhaling nose, let everything go. And rolling over on the right side into the fetal position. Just taking a moment of gratitude for the miracle of your body, for your strong legs and your strong arms, for the good gift of eyes that see and ears that hear. Such amazing blessings. And then just grounding your left palm into the mat, come gently up to seated, allowing your head to hang until the very end. Just taking a moment in your seated position to notice any benefits the practice brought to you today in release to the muscle body, in ease to the breathing, in quietness to the mind. And then inhaling the hands up over the head. Let the palms touch and thumbs come to forehead, asking for generous thoughts, and to the lips for kind speech, and to the heart for clear intentions. Namaste.